guys, I hope you're doing great and that your day was amazing or is going amazing. Today I wanted to talk about our true north and what does it mean, at least from my perspective, right? I don't know the exact meaning, like if other people follow the same path that I have, but the first time I ever heard let me go back a little bit. Basically, in simple terms, following your true north is just, following your path. What you signed up to do here, right? And when you start following your true north or your path, that's when you start seeing that all the doors start opening and everything starts going right, and you start seeing the synchronicities and everything, right? But when I first heard of true north, I didn't even know what they were talking about. I was listening to somebody on YouTube. It was a reading, and she said you need to follow your true north because right now you're following your south node. And I had no idea about those terms, and basically to me is talking about, our astrological chart, which we do have our true north and the south node in our birth charts, right? So at this point, when I learned those things, I still didn't realize that, I used to always go around saying, oh, I'm a Cancerian, because based on my birthday, that's what I am. But I didn't realize that was just my sun sign. We have so many other placements, and even if you have your sun sign and your moon sign and all that, that can still change through the years. You don't always stay with the same exact placements, right? I'm not too crazy into, the birth charts and everything like that. I haven't taken the time that I need to study those things. I'm kind of like all over the place. So, if I have a chance, then I'll do it. I'll spend some time here and there, but it's not like my main focus, right? Because essentially, I always follow what my heart says. And even if your birth chart tells you where to go, it's just something that's within you that you'll know. And this is why I started believing in, the birth chart and all those things, because when I started actually studying a little bit, of my placements and things like that, it just clicked. Everything made so much sense. And I'm like, man, no wonder I'm like this, no wonder I'm like that. But it was something that was natural within me without me trying to without me having the influence of my birth chart. The only thing I really knew that I had was my sun sign, which is in Cancer, right? And that's what I always followed, and the only thing that I listened to. So during this reading, which was a reading for Cancers, she started talking about your true north, your south node, and I said, what? So I went and I looked it up and everything like that, and sure enough, it resonated with me. So my personal south node is in Capricorn, and Capricorn, is an earthly sign. It is very associated to 3D things, working, money, physical things or whatever. And my north node is in Cancer. So I believe those are the only, not the only two, but I do believe those two do stay with you. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't go deep into it. But essentially, your south node is what you want to get away from. And, even though you've been doing it for a while, and it feels normal to you and everything like that. And that makes so much sense with me because I was a very proud workaholic. I was happy, being that, the teacher's pet, the hardest worker, and working long hours. I was okay working weekends. It came with the pay also. So, that it did influence. It wasn't like it was just for free. But yeah, I'm about that moolah too. I like money and everything like that. I mean, who doesn't, right? Money helps us. But you know, actually, when I was younger, I didn't have the same relationship with money. I used to think money was evil, because you know, that's another agenda to keep us away from money. Because you know, we a lot of the times unconsciously build this negative relationship with money, because we grow up hearing, you know, our people around us saying, you know, well, money is evil. But money is not evil. Money is an amazing tool that we need, in order to live in this reality that we're in right now. You know, money helps us a lot. Sure, there are many evil people with a lot of money in their possession, you know, but that doesn't make money itself evil, right? So the whole point was, you know, I love money, I love working and stuff like that. So that made a lot of sense with me, why I had the South Node. But I didn't understand why I needed to get away from that, because at that time I was still very workaholic. But then when I started looking into the North Node, which is Cancer, and Cancer is, you know, Capricorn is also about families, about foundations, but Cancer is a little bit more on the nurturing side, you know, being more of a mother, having that mother energy, you know, has a lot to do with, you know, taking care of the home, you know, being homey. Yeah, you know, so everything that has to do with like nurturing, mothering, things like that, that's essentially Cancer. So when I found that out, my North Node didn't really resonate too much, because I was still very much in my South Node. I was still like, no, I like to work, I like to make money, this is where I want to be at, you know. But the pandemic hit and then, you know, I had no choice but to go into my North Node, you know, little by little. I had no choice. I had to stay home. I had to really, really be a mom. You know, even though I'm extremely close with my children, I love my children and everything, I was so used to being, you know, like working and long, long hours. My kids would go hours without seeing me, you know, throughout the day since they were little. So I've been working like forever. So since they were very young, they, you know, my daughter, my youngest daughter, really, she tells me how she grew this how you call it, a separation anxiety with me, because you know, she wanted me around so much, but because I was working, you know, and providing and everything, I wasn't really, I was around, of course, you know, but many hours of my day went to work. And then as soon as I got home, it was to cook, to do homework, you know, clean, things like that. So there was a lot of time that I didn't spend with my children, even though they're my world. They have always been my world. But, you know, because they were my world, I felt the need to be that provider, to be the one working, to make sure that I bring in, you know, the money and everything like that. So I felt like, yeah, I love them, but this is why I work. You know, this is why I do all this. The pandemic completely changed that for me, and I had no choice but to be home. And it was the first time ever that I actually experienced what it was like to be a stay-at-home mom, even though I was still working, you know, because I was working from home. But I had to be around my children's energy all day, and I didn't know how to do that. You know, it was weird to me. It was so weird to like be home, and you know, we had to learn how to like know each other. We didn't know each other. We really didn't. And on top of that, you know, a lot of things had changed in our lives, which it was only them and I. So it was the first time ever that we got to know each other. And I started really feeling like what it was like to really be a mom. And not just that, also it gave me this sense of super respect for the stay-at-home moms. You know, 100%. I always respected them, of course, you know, but it's like that job alone is crazy. You know, it's a lot. So imagine, you know, I was doing that plus working. It was a lot. I was still kind of in my south node, because it was too much work, you know, taking care of my kids and everything like that. It was nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. But as time has been passing, you know, and I have been a little bit alleviated from all the work I had to do. My daughters got older, they became adults, you know, after the pandemic and everything like that. So it's kind of like I only really got to deal with my son when it comes to, you know, like treating him like a baby and stuff like that. I still baby my daughters, no matter what age they are. But it's like, you know, they help me also. They have always helped me since they were young. They have always helped me, but it's like, you know, it is a different type of responsibility, you know. And so anyway, so I started following my north node without me really planning to, you know. And ever since then, my world did start changing for the better. I did, even if it was forced on me, I did start following my north, my north node. And you know, that's when everything started like getting better in my life. So I just told you guys that so you can understand, like, you know, what I mean about following your north node and getting away from your south node. And now I'm at the point where, like, it's not that I don't want to work at all. I like working. I like to be busy. I like to have purpose, you know, and everything like that. But I don't know, like, I want to put my energy in something that I feel contributes more to the world. And this is why I do this, you know, even though I'm still working, you know, it's like I have this faith in my heart that God is gonna do his magic, and I don't know where he's gonna lead me, but I don't feel that I'm meant to work in a corporate office like forever, you know, because even though, yes, it helps me because it provides for me and everything like that, and I'm crazy grateful, it takes a lot of time of my day, you know. Like, if I only had to do like 3 hours a day, it's all good. You know, but it takes many hours of my day where I can actually either be in nature or do creative things, or, you know, I don't know, just spend my time in stuff that's more in alignment with who I'm becoming, you know, and at the same time, you know, be a better contributor to the world. Because right now where I'm at, I'm like, okay, how am I helping anybody here other than, you know, my colleagues, which I do, you know. And that's what I have said in the past, like, you have to take every opportunity that you are presented with. And, you know, even you know, everybody tells us like, oh, we need to get away from the 9 to 5 and this and that. But if that's what you have right now, like me, you know, use that opportunity, interact with the people in there. Everybody needs help everywhere, you know. And especially in toxic environments, you know, you can always be that light that people need. And I try to do that, you know. I try my best to be that light even in such environment, you know. So yeah, I you know, look into your chart. If, you know, if you're interested, just Google it. You know, if you don't know where to go, just Google it. You know, Google my birth chart. Whatever is best if you have your your time of birth. I personally go based on the time of birth that my mom thinks, you know, it was approximately that time. But so far, to be very honest with you, the things that I have found resonate very much with me. So I do feel that I have, you know, somewhat the right time. I love that I have my kids' time, because, you know, I feel like, okay, I know for sure, you know. But I was born in Dominican Republic, and over there, you know, it's different than here, and in the 80s, you know. So it's like, I don't know, I would probably have to go to like the hospital or something. I don't even know where I was born. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But yeah, go to your birth chart, and it will help you also understand you. It will help you understand, you know, why you act a certain way, you know, like for example, right? My Mercury is in Gemini. Mercury is the planet of communication, right? Like I said, I don't know. I don't go too deep into this, so I don't know too much, but I know for sure that Mercury has to do with communication, and it's home. And Gemini, that's Gemini's home. So, and Gemini has to do with communication as well. You know, speaking and, you know, communicating and stuff like that. And when I found that out, it made so much sense to me because, you know, even though I'm trying to lean more towards like I need to listen rather than just talk and talk and talk, but having that placement helps me make these videos because it helps me speak a certain way, you know, and I like to communicate things, and it's not just to talk and talk and talk, you know, but it's more like I like to teach. I like to, you know, I like to explain things, and that also goes in alignment with other placements that I have. I also have Virgo in me. Virgo, you know, is very analytical and a very intelligent sign, and that has helped me through life because I am not somebody to study. Like, I study what I like, you know, and stuff like that, but I jump from one thing to another, you know. But when it comes to like testing and stuff like that in school, when I went to school, I never ever study in school ever. You know, I was just good, you know. I was just good at taking tests, and the way I would see it, you know, even if it was like math, I was good with math, but even with math, the things that I didn't know, like, I would just look at the questions, look at the answers, and see what clicked. And then I'll make the selection and I would pass. You know, so it was like a natural thing that came out of me. And I believe in my heart that that was because of certain placements that I have, you know, specifically in Virgo. So, you know, and it doesn't mean that if you don't have Virgo, you're not intelligent. There, like I said, you probably know a lot more than I do. I'm just saying these are the little things that I do know. The little things that I have studied, you know, when I was like, okay, why am I like this? Why am I like that? You know. But yes, it helps you get to know yourself a little bit deeper, and it helps you understand that it goes beyond this realm, that is, you know, it's something that's written in the stars for you to be a certain way. You know, you can always change for the better and stuff, but I mean, like, the things that are really inside of you, like the type of person that you are, organically, it will help you understand that. I also recommend, you know, that you look into your life path number. I think I have mentioned that before. Life path number helps. It helped me a lot to help me get on my path. And, you know, it was so crazy because when I found out about the life path numbers, I'm on number 7, which is a very spiritual, it's the like spiritual life path, right? And not just that, but something that describes the life path 7 is the truth seeker, right? And the funny thing, that's what I'm saying, everything aligns even when you're not looking for it. I have an Instagram page. You guys can always go and follow, but I don't be on Instagram really, you know. I only mess with not Facebook, never. No, I do have Facebook, but I took it down, you know. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so my Facebook, like, I've always considered myself a truth seeker, you know, and I never knew about that. I never read that anywhere else, you know. I like to know the truth, you know, and it actually started during my Illuminati time, which what I mean by that is just, you know, looking into the, you know, the lies and stuff. You know, I try to stay away from that now because that's very fear-based, and I have too much faith to waste my time with that, you know. And I suggest you don't either. You know, there was a point where I really thought the world was gonna end on a certain day, because of all the things that I was seeing, that it was just like I couldn't help but to just like pay too much attention to it. And I used to scare my kids with things that I used to like find online and everything. Yes, the world can be very, very ugly, you know, but we have to turn away from that and just have faith that everything's gonna be okay, right? And ever since I got away from that, like, I've been good. But anyway, so what I was trying to say was that my Instagram, when I started it, the name that I selected automatically was Truth Seeker, and then 7 for my life path number, 369, which is associated to Tesla, right? So and you can search that up. I'm still at a point where I don't 100% understand it, where I can teach what 369 means, but I know it's associated to the universe and the way that the universe works. I know Nikola Tesla, he used to do everything in like threes. That was the sequence that he used to use for like almost everything that he used to do. And me being a super fan of Tesla, you know, I don't know, I started using 369 also, and honestly speaking, I feel like it has a powerful energy, you know, and it has helped me through this journey. So yeah, and so I naturally named myself on Instagram Truth Seeker. And as soon as I learned about the life path numbers, that is the identity of a number 7, a truth seeker, a spiritual person and a truth seeker. And that's when I started saying, like, okay, you know what, even if you don't know about these things, you just automatically or organically follow these things, you know. So, you know, but it's just so cool to see how everything just like aligns, right? I liked learning about it even before, you know. I mean, I like the fact that I did all these things and then learned about them later on in life, because it proved to me that you don't have to know these things to still follow your path. You don't, you know. And yes, so I suggest you search into the life path number. It will help you a lot. It will help you understand you. It will help you understand, you know, give you a little idea of what your path is meant to be. All right, if you feel like, what am I here for, what's the whole purpose and everything like that, I believe the purpose is experience, you know. I really do. But it's deeper, it's much deeper than that. And so something else that I do suggest that you guys look into, if you have the time, is human design. The human design is even deeper than just the regular birth charts, the astrological birth charts. But it takes a lot of time for you to study, because, you know, it's great information, great information, but it's a lot, you know, it's a lot to study. And I have some studies I've done on it, but I don't, you know, like, it's the same thing with the you know, with the birth charts and all that stuff. I don't spend too much time, but I understand it, you know. And I understand there are different types and all that stuff, you know, like the basics, the very basics. Not enough for me to teach yet. But I think it's amazing and interesting, and it can help you so much in your path, as well as also looking into your name. Your name is so amazing, you know. You know, I had to stay humble with my name. I do. And the thing about my name is that I hated my name. When I was young, I hated it, because one, my name is Yanni, so it's like I never knew anybody named Yanni, and believe it or not, I wanted to be part of the crowd. I wanted to have a basic name. I wanted to be named a certain name that, you know, that was normal. I'm like, why is my name Yanni? Who in the world has that name? I didn't realize how special it was to be unique, you know. But then something that made it worse was that as I got older, there was a Greek teacher that said, well, you don't look like a Yanni. And I didn't understand why he said that. And I said, what do you mean? You know, who else is Yanni? And he said, well, that's actually, you know, that's actually a Greek name for a man. you know, and exactly the way that I write it too. So I said, what? And sure enough, I found Yanni, the pianist, right? And he spells his name just like mine. And I was like, oh man. So not only do I have a weird name, but it's a man's name, you know? So I really didn't like it. And my middle name, I used to not tell anybody my middle name because it was so embarrassing to me, you know? And I'm still not gonna say it. I mean, it's just weird, you know, it's a weird middle name. But when I learned the meaning of my name, my perspective completely changed, 1000%. And like, I love and adore my name, you know? But not only because of the meaning, but because, you know, I matured and I understood that, you know, being unique is a beautiful thing. You know, you don't want to be basic. You don't want to be like everybody else. You know, you want to be different. Well, I do, at least, you know. And so yeah, so when I found out the meaning of my name, which means, you know, it has two meanings, because they had the Hebrew meaning and then they have the Greek, I believe the Greek meaning. So one of the meanings is gracious is God, or God is gracious, you know. And the other meaning is gift of God. And when I found that out, you know, like, I swear I had to stay humble. I was like, whoa, gift of God, wow, you know. But at that point I already liked my name. At that point I did like my name. So, you know, but that super boosted it. And then my other name, well, I'll say it, but my middle name is Jeremy, Jermy, which is very weird. It sounds like Jeremy, you know, but it's not. It's like, when I search it, it says it derives from Jeremy. So the meanings that I found would mainly focus on Jeremy, because Jeremy is very weird to find, right? And so what was it? So it wasn't too long ago, because I didn't even, like I said, I didn't really acknowledge my middle name too much because I didn't really like it, you know. But it wasn't too long ago that I searched it up, and Jeremy, or Jeremy, means, you know, like, led by God. So like, God is the one walking with me. And when I found that out, I was like, all right, you know what, my name is it's crazy special, you know, at least in my world. And I had to take it serious. I had to take my path serious, you know, not just because of that, but it just, you know, it was like super confirmation for me, like, yo, you're here for something, you know, greater than you understand. And, you know, it wasn't like my parents planned that. My parents had no idea. My parents were putting two of my uncles' names together. And that's how I got my name. It wasn't like they were like, yeah, it means this. No, not at all. And that's the beauty of it, that they were not even trying to do these things. My parents didn't really follow esoterics or anything like that, you know, astronomy or anything, nothing. So I know it wasn't, you know, that they knew what they were doing. But when I found those things out, it was so special to me. And like I have been saying, we are all special. We are all special. And your name may not have the most special meaning, but it goes beyond the name. It goes way beyond the name. So, you know, any things that I mention here, you know, don't ever get discouraged if you don't have the same things, you know. I feel I have those things because I'm a type of person, like, I need proof, you know, like, like, things are just not enough for me. Like, I need to, like, really, like, you know, I'm like, okay, God, yeah, you told me that I'm a gift from you now, you know, I need more. You know, there's not always the best attitude, but it's the truth, you know. So I feel like that's why God had to do that, because he's like, this hard-headed girl needs this and this and that, you know. So, but I encourage you guys to look into those things, get to know yourself, you know, from inside out. You know, things that are written in the stars are very special, and they help us through our path. But I'm like about 30 minutes in, guys. This is probably the longest video. I didn't expect it to be. But I wish you all the best. I hope this video is informative for you and helps you. And I really, really hope that you look into yourself and study you. Become your greatest project. You know, I have mentioned it before. I love having me as a project to work on. It's the greatest project I ever worked on aside from my kids. So good luck with your journey and finding, you know, who you are beyond this vessel. And you know, just have fun with it. Have fun with it, learn from it, and I hope you have the greatest day or night ever. And nos vemos mañana. Bye.